Welcome back to the DNX show, and today we're doing our motocross season predictions, and I'm going to give you guys a little tally of how our predictions are going so far. For Doc, he has had 51 correct picks. For myself, I have 54 correct picks out of Supercross. It's kind of crazy how it's very, very close, in my opinion. Like, I thought it would be a little bit bigger of a gap, but when it comes down to it, we're kind of similar in our picks.
Sounds great, right? Like, wow, look at it, chat. That's out of 231 potential correct answers.
Hey, they don't got to know that. They don't got to know that part, all right? Just know we're pretty good. If you guys want to get an F. All right, but anyways. Let's jump into our bold predictions. Let's start with the 450 class, okay? And Doc, what is your bold prediction for the 450s?
We're going to have a 3-rider battle for this championship, and none of them are going to get hurt, and they're all going to make it down to the final round.
Can I ask you who is going to be those 3 guys?
No, you can't.
You don't even know.
No, right. I do. It's going to be, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be Sexton, Jet, and Tomac.
Okay, I feel like that's the most popular picks, to be fair. So for my 450 bold prediction, I hate to do this, but I have Chase Sexton struggling and getting 3rd in the championship. I hate it. He doesn't defend his title that well. He's going up against a well-prepped Tomac. He's going up against a well-prepped Jet. I mean, they've had 5-6 weeks of just straight motoing, bro. So I think Chase might struggle a couple rounds in the beginning, find his groove, and then maybe start reeling off some moto wins. But I think it's going to be a little bit too late, and he gets 3rd in the chip.
As a avid non-Chase Glazer, I think you're really wrong on that one.
Really? I hope I'm wrong, dude. I hope he gaps everybody and wins by 50, listen, dude. But
as like a devout non-Chase Glazer, I think you're wrong on that one.
I really hope I'm wrong. I really, really hope. But what about your 250 bold prediction?
Okay, this one might be bold. Okay. I mean, it's supposed to be bold. Also, sorry, I'm sick. I had a fever for 8 days, okay? So if I'm sniffling or whatever, okay. But my bold prediction for the 250 class is Levi Kitchen holds the red plate longer than Deegan.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's going to end that way. I'm just saying I think Kitchen's going to be a formidable foe this year.
Okay, fair enough. That's actually kind of contradicting my bold prediction here, because I have Hayden Deegan winning over 50% of the motos this year.
So we're glazing.
Just a little bit. He's going to win 12 or more motos. There's 11 rounds, so 22 motos. I think he wins 12 or more.
That's insane.
Now, I don't know like how it's going to...
very possible.
It's very possible. That's what I'm trying to tell. Like, think about it. It wins 1 moto each round. That's at least 11. He goes at least 1-1 at multiple different rounds. Is it going to be freaking tough? Yeah, absolutely. I don't even think he won 11 motos last year for the championship. He might have. I don't remember off the top of my head. But winning 12 or more motos is very, very hard, especially in a 250 class with everybody being super, super fast. And one thing with Deegan, watch last year, he crashes very early in the motos and he has to charge all the way back.
Yeah, he did the same thing as Soupy.
Yeah, so say, for example, he goes down and he can't get to that first place. Now, I'm not saying he won't. Like, we've seen that he's more than capable. But I feel like some of those motos, he might not be able to get to first place, and he gets a second, and then he goes out and wins the next race, right? So I think he's going to get more than 50% of the motos.
I originally had Deegan goes undefeated. And then I learned my lesson from Supercross and took that away. Okay, so.
Yes, that's very smart. That is very, very smart. But staying in the 250s, who's going to be your breakout guy for this year?
I mean, I feel like you have to go with Seth, right? Seth Hamaker? Like that's like the obvious pick.
I actually agree with you. That's actually my breakout year. I don't know if he's going to be able to win races, like win overalls. I do think he's going to be more of a contender than what most people think. Go back a couple, I think even last year, at the very beginning of the season and the year prior, he was fast. Like, he was very, very fast, top 5 guy. And now with that confidence that he got in Supercross, I think he's just going to be even better this outdoor season.
Confidence, and I think he's pissed off, from what happened. So I feel like he's got a chip on his shoulder. I don't know, dude. He might go 1-1 at Paula. I mean, I don't know. It's got...
He might.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough bet against Deegan at Paula, but
That is very true. You never know. Okay, so what about your 450 breakout year?
okay, I don't know if this counts because I have Jorge Prado, just technically like
Yeah, that counts.
his first year outdoors, right?
No, that
But
counts.
I think he's gonna do really well, like really, really well. I think he'll be fighting. I don't know at first, right? But I think midway towards the end of the season, if he stays healthy, I think he'll be fighting for wins and podiums consistently.
So for me, I actually don't have Prado on any of my predictions here. I'm just
You're a hater.
not. No. I just don't know what to expect, honestly, because
Yeah.
he's on a new team, right? He's been motoing down at Club MX, I believe, right now, doing some sand motos, testing out there, doing everything he needs to do. But racing our tracks is completely different than racing MXGP for him because he's never raced our tracks before. He's never even been to a couple of these tracks. So he's going to have to learn these tracks on the fly and still race against Jet, Hunter, like Tomac, Chase. Like, it's going to be difficult for him in the very beginning. I think once we go East Coast, like those tracks, High Point, Ironman, I think he'll find his groove. Redbud, because he's been there and raced there before. So I think he'll find his groove. But early on, I think he might struggle and might go like 5-6. I could be completely wrong, let's be real. But that's my only thing on Prado.
Like I said, I think he'll start slow and build, but I think once he builds, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think next year he's title contender immediately in outdoors. Supercross, I think 5-6, top 10 guy, but like motocross, title contender instantly. But for my breakout year, now I don't know if this is necessarily a breakout like year guy that you can say, but it's the newly partnered FXR rider Malcolm Stewart, and he had a great season last year. Like, he had a really good season. He made it all the way through every single round, first time in his career. I think he just steps up a little bit more. I think he maybe gets like a 4th or 5th in the championship with everybody there too. So that's going to be even more difficult.
I was going to say he got 6th so last year in the championship. So, dang, you think
I think
4 or 5?
4 or 5. He puts on some really good performances. He went out last year, and that was his first time doing a full season, basically, and he did 6th place. Now he's going to have all of that momentum from last year, all the testing that he had from last year, and he's going to go out there and put on a really good performance. He has the confidence from Supercross. He just finished 4th in the chip. Like, he has that confidence, and I think he's going to go out there and maybe get a couple podiums now. You know, I think that would be freaking sick. It's going to be difficult, though. Don't get me wrong.
Overall podiums or moto podiums?
Moto podiums, overall podiums. Like, I think maybe later on. You know, you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
I don't know if he's going to be a problem. Like, I don't know if like race wins. You got Jet, Hunter, you know, like Tomac, Chase. But I think he can. Now let's flip the spectrum here and let's go with the biggest flop for the 450s. Who do you have?
I don't know if this is a flop because nobody expects him to do good, but he is the reigning Supercross champ, so I'm going to go with Cooper Webb. Cooper Webb says he hates outdoors. He doesn't care about outdoors. We've never seen him do good. I put him as the biggest flop, but I also could see him being like a major issue being Cooper Webb, right? Like coming out, you know, getting 4th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 4th, like the whole season, and then being right there at the end.
Like the old Cooper Webb 250 dog days when he would be like dicing through the pack at the very last lap, getting the moto wins.
I mean, he knows how to ride, obviously, so it's not like he can't. I just feel like if he doesn't care, this is a pretty tough pack to just not have to fight for it, you know?
So for my biggest flop, I actually have Jason Anderson. Now, I absolutely hate this. However, he's coming off a somewhat mediocre Supercross season. We don't know
how half the season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's mediocre, right? He had a really good start of the season, and then he basically sat out since Seattle, right? 5-6 rounds. So with that in mind, how well is he going to do testing wise? Like, where's his focus at right now? We don't understand. Like, we really don't know what happened, and we probably will never know what happened. So we don't have a full picture of this. Now, I will say he is very underrated outdoors. He can go out there and win motos. He can win overalls. We saw it a couple of years ago when we had that insane battle between Tomac and Chase, right? And I think it was 23, I believe it was, and he won Budds Creek. He can go out there and win. Like, that's guaranteed. But overall, I think it might be a below average season. Like, he might be behind Malcolm Stewart, Prado, Hunter. Like if he is below Cooper Webb in the championship, it's a guaranteed flop, in my opinion.
Yeah, fair.
You know what I'm saying? If he's above, then I will not count that as a correct pick.
I think that's a good judge, because I would say Jason's better outdoors for sure. I think everyone would say that. Or again, I just don't think Webb cares, and so I don't think Webb's gonna Webb just achieved something he never thought he was gonna do. I feel like Webb's checked out. I'm like, whatever.
That is very true. And I think Webb won't be checked in until like last 2 rounds when he has to get back focused for SMX. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. Okay, so now let's move to the 250s. Who's your biggest flop for the 250s?
Okay, so this pains me, and I'm gonna put maybe there's a little fluke here, but I just watched the Stopwatch Nationals at Old Glen Helen, and Juju was not doing nearly as good as I feel like he should be doing. For me, with the class, a flop for Juju would be outside of the top 3 in points. I'll just clarify that.
Outside of the top 3?
Yeah, I think he needs to be a title contender.
Okay, I feel that. I will say this though. All right, I watched the Glen Helen Nationals a little bit. Shout out to Matt Burkeen for all his videos, and shout out to Motocross Action Magazine for putting it on, as well as Glen Helen. Juju was going up against 450s. All right, I will say that. Like Enzo Temmerman, amateur, he should be beating him, but he was on a 450, so I will say that. All right, but I kind of expect Juju to be like 5th or 6th in the points. That's kind of where I'm thinking.
I want this to do well. I think Juju will do well at Paula. SoCal kid, probably do really well there. I don't know. I'm curious. I don't know how he'll do outdoors.
Okay, so for my biggest flop, I'm actually going to go with Joe Shimoda. I think he should be a title contender. He was the past couple of years, but I just don't see that same Joe that we've seen from like on PC days. All right. I just don't see that intensity, that want to win, that going out there and beating those guys when he was facing Hunter and Jet. Like, I just don't see that right now. Last year, he got 6th in the points, man. I know he was hurt a couple rounds, I think at the very end. But still, I would love for this to be wrong. I want Joe to succeed. There's also some rumors about turmoil in Honda right now with him. So, I mean, this might be his last year at Honda. I kind of want him to go back to PC a little bit because he was on fire back then. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. If he gets below a 5th in the championship, that's what we'll count, right? If he gets below a 5th, it's the biggest flop.
I feel like Joe's going to do really well, like be surprised, like, whoa, okay, Joe's a problem, right? Like Joe's going to get podiums every round, or he's going to be like 8th.
Okay, so now let's talk about the most Moto wins, and let's start with the 250s because we're talking about the 250s. And I'm going to say mine first because I already said in my bold prediction, it's going to be Deegan. He's going to win more than half of the races, and it's just going to be what it is. You know, I'm just going to be right on that. Okay, so what about you?
Agreed. It's going to be Deegan. I think he's going to be a problem. He's going to be the guy all summer. I think he's going to have his hands full with Kitchen, but I do think that Deegan will just be pretty dominant.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think also a guy that we got to look out for is Ty Masterpool. You can definitely give Deegan a run for his money a little bit, I think. But yeah, Deegan's winning basically half the races. Let's be real. Okay, so what about 450s?
I'm going with Sexton. I think Sexton's going to be on another level. He doesn't make as many like dumb mistakes outdoors that he does in Supercross. There's a lot less places to just tip over. It's obviously just more natural to the guys. I think he is riding just unreal at the moment. And I do think he's going to have a lot of competition, but I do think Sexton's going to be still the fastest guy.
For my most Moto wins, I'm going to go with Jet Lawrence. He went undefeated 2 years ago. He won majority of the motos last year before he got hurt. I mean, let's be real. He crashed at Hangtown, came back and won Lakewood. So, I mean, that guy's an animal. He's coming in healthy to a degree. He's coming in healthy. He's coming in with a lot of prep time. I think he wins maybe 40% of the motos this year. And I think Tomac maybe gets a little piece of that. Chase gets a little piece of that. But I think Jet gets it done this year.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the other safe option. In my opinion, I would go Sexton or Jet for that, for sure.
You can also, I think we're dogging a little bit on Tomac too. Tomac's going to be right there too. Let's be real. Tomac might be the one getting it.
I'm just trying to set my expectations correctly because I want Tomac to come out and just absolutely body everybody every round and go undefeated and retire. That's what I would like to happen. But I'm trying to just be.
I'm trying to be realistic, you know, like I want Chase to go out there and be undefeated, but I want to be realistic. I'm trying to, at least. I'm not trying to glaze. I would definitely put Chase on every category, but I'm trying to be realistic here. Now let's talk about the championship. Who is winning the 450 championship?
This is going to surprise you and probably chat, but I'm going Sexton. I think he gets it done. I think he goes back to back. I think hopefully he breaks out of this, like the goofy dude, Sexton have so many championships if he wasn't doing the things he does all the time. And I think finally he gets done, goes back to back, goes to Cowie.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's rumor that like Tomac's already signed with KTM, so Chase is basically gone. Yeah, that's crazy. I did not expect you to put Chase. I thought you were going to go with at least Tomac.
I mean, again, I want Tomac to win. As a fan, I want Tomac to win. As someone that's looked at the field, again, this could all change come Paula. I saw the interview with Tomac. Tomac says has zero excuses not to go out there and be 100%. That's dangerous, right? This is the most prepared, his words, the most prepared he's ever been going into an outdoor season. Absolutely dangerous, petrifying to anybody else. I don't know. Like, I want that all to be true and him to come out and just put, I want freaking Geico Honda Tomac to come out in 40 seconds on everybody.
Dude, that'd be crazy.
That'd be so fire. I'd be so excited. I don't know. I see Tomac. You'll see in my Paula predictions that we post soon, but I'm trying to be realistic on someone that's gone out with injury and then comes back into a class of people that have been racing, especially against someone like Sexton that just won the chip and has looked incredible. Or Sexton didn't win the chip. I understand. You know what I'm saying?
Outdoor chip. I know you're talking.
Yeah, outdoor chip. And basically dominated a lot of Supercross and clearly was the faster person, didn't have the racecraft to get that championship done. I think Sexton's just the guy right now.
I will say this. I think Sexton learned a lot from that Supercross season and about trying to be more consistent. And so I can 100% seeing Sexton outdoors being the most consistent guy and getting on the box every single round and trying to not force an issue when he desperately doesn't need to do it like he did at Arlington. Okay. So for example, he knows that he can only get a second that day. I don't think he goes out and risk his life trying to go past Jet or Tomac. He'll just take a second and move on to the next round and he'll be there at the very end and try to win. So I can definitely see that.
I think, battling with Webb had to have taught him a lot for sure.
Oh, 100%. 100%. That mental fortitude, I think, is going to be huge for Sexton. But for my 450 champion, I want to glaze Sexton some more, but I'm not.
I got it. Don't worry.
Yeah, Doc did that for me. Okay, so for mine, I'm going to go with Jet Lawrence. I think he wants redemption from last year going out with injury. He has an undefeated season. He knows how to win versus Sexton. He knows how to win versus basically the field. Only guy he doesn't know how to win against yet is Tomac. I want to see how that plays out the first couple of rounds. Will they continue to battle like Sexton and Tomac did in 23? How will that play out? But I think Jet gets it done. He is very good outdoors, and we know he's very good outdoors. So I think Jet wins 45% of the motos. He's consistent, just like I said about Sexton, and he gets the chip. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I could see Sexton going, or I could see Jet going undefeated again, to be honest.
No, I cannot see that because of Tomac coming back healthy, Chase healthy. I mean, Prado's there. I mean, we have a breakout in Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying I can definitely see that. What about your 250 champion? I think we're going to agree with this. I think it's easy.
Yeah, Deeks.
Yeah, it's pretty much the easy answer.
Kitchen is the only one I think that can actually give Deeks a run for his money for the chip. But I just think nobody down the stretch of the season and the motos is willing to send it as hard as Deegan. And I think that will, he's going to have a ton of late moto passes for the win like he did last year, and that's going to, you know, separate him from everybody else. Nobody's willing to dig as deep as he is outdoors.
I 100% agree. I don't even have anything else to offer, man. That's exactly what's going to happen. So, like I had said before, Deegan's going to win more than half the moto, so he's going to
As long as he don't get hurt, GG's.
I'm really interested to see how Tom Vial does, though, coming off the Supercross champion. I will say last year, I think he had a lull season because of the Supercross championship, how it went down to the wire, and he was trying to focus on that, so he didn't get a lot of prep time and a lot of focus for outdoors. And I think that's going to happen again because it went down to literally the last race. So I think he's going to struggle a little bit again this year. And what sucks for him is this is his only chance to get a 250 outdoor championship because he has to move up to 450s next year. So kind of sucks.
As I saw somebody say, I don't remember who it was, but somebody said, should Tom Vial just retire? Because is he actually going to do anything on a 450? I think Tom's going to be a bigger problem on a 450 than he is on a 250.
I don't know about that. That's a bold statement. I can definitely see him. I can definitely see him being like a Marvin Muscan type of guy. That's how I kind of picture him.
I just think his riding style fits the 450 better. Like he just seems a lot more like thoughtful instead of just, you know, RT the whole time. So I think he'll do well on a 450, but you know.
That's very true. Yeah. But anyways, those are our predictions for the season. Let us know who you guys have winning the championship. Let us know your guys' bold prediction in the comment section below, as well as your biggest flop. I want to see what you guys have to say. I want to see if it's going to be similar to ours. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all the love on all the videos that we've been posting lately. It really does mean a lot. I'm glad Doc is feeling a little bit better so we can get these videos knocked out. And yeah, we're going to have our Paula predictions here in a couple days, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do for us, and we'll be back here in the Paula predictions. So we're out. Peace.